Y'all hear that? Finally turned my AC on. Believe it or not. Hey, hey, whew, I done been to the grocery store and done give him a shit pot full of dadgum money and done made my way to the house here where it's peaceful and quiet. You notice you don't hear no TV? Hey, look here, I'm gonna tell you something. I tell folks that and they don't believe me. I got a TV. I got like a 1984 model. You know, one of them looks like it's pregnant on the ass end. And years ago, I ain't had TV in 9 years. Years ago, company gave me one of them there Blu-ray, Stingray, Blu-ray, whatever the hell it is, one of them DVD players. That's the only reason I got a TV. But I was thinking about that. Old boy, he asked me at work this morning what I thought about that Confederate flag deal, and I couldn't tell him nothing. When it comes to what's going on in Atlanta or the state of Georgia, the southeast, the country, the world, I'm always a little behind the eight ball because I ain't got TV. I ain't got no internet, so a smart TV wouldn't do me much good. And sometimes I get to thinking I want one, and I always change my mind because I see a lot of folks on here that, you know, y'all let stuff that happens on the TV there just absolutely worry you to death. And a lot of y'all think you need that damn TV, and you don't. And you can sit and argue with me about it all day, and my answer's still going to be the same. You don't need no damn TV. That's all there is to it. I tell you why. I'm going to tell you a story. I was a kid growing up, way on up into probably into my 30s. Probably my mid-late 30s. My grandparents, they never had a TV. My grandpa, of course, you know, he is a Southern Baptist preacher, and my grandmother, she had fell under conviction back in 1946. And it was to do with her hair. She felt convicted that, you know, she needed to let her hair alone, that, you know, it pleased God for a woman to have long hair, and it was probably up in the 2000s, sometime or another, before she ever got her hair cut. And the only reason she got it cut then was she had got age on her, and it's that blasted long, and it's just getting to be a chore to take care of. But they never had a TV in the house. Their world come to them through the local newspaper or AM, FM radio. That was it. And, you know, they never worried a whole lot about what was going on outside their little world. And, you know, they fired along pretty good. But I figured I'd share this story. My grandpa, he was on up in his 70s. And for some oddball reason, he decided that late in life that he needed him a TV. Not only a TV, but when he went to get the TV, he just went ahead and signed up for at DirecTV. And boy, it didn't sit well with Grandma at all. No, she didn't like it. But remember the DirecTV, man, he come out there, and the best place he found he could put it was right up on the side of the chimney. Grandpa had a big old tall chimney. He had his heater down in the basement, and you can imagine how tall the chimney was. With the old boy was hanging the dish there, he went way on up towards the top of that rascal there, and he hung that blasted satellite dish out over the edge there, and Grandma didn't like it. She didn't like that box in the house. She despised it. So we was over there one day, and 12 o'clock dinner was sitting on the table. Every day. You eat dinner at 12. And I'd go eat with him every chance I got. And I went over there one day, and Grandpa hadn't had that TV long. And it's about like I am now. When I go off somewhere, if they got a TV, I could sit and watch a full day of commercials and never take my eyes off of it. But that's the way Grandpa was. He was watching the news there, and I mean, buddy, he was zeroed in. He had blocked the whole world out. And Grandma, she had dinner on the table, and she said, "Cobb." He didn't finish. She said, "Cobb, dinner." He didn't do nothing. He kept watching that news. Finally, she hollered, "Corbin Coley, you get over here and eat or I'm going to throw it to the dog." Well, he heard that. So he gets up and he goes over there and he sits down, didn't turn the TV off. So he's eating and he's watching the news, and he'd take a bite and he'd watch the news, and back and forth, back and forth. Finally, Grandma told him. She said, "Corbin, Coley says, when you die," she said, "I'm going to get a casket big enough to put you, that television set, and that wash tub that's hanging on the chimney. I'm going to bury all three of you together." Hey, she ate that son of a gun with passion. But with that being said, like this corn crib confession started off, I sit and I watch a lot of y'all, and y'all get beside yourself about what's going on out in the world. And 99, probably 0.9% of what you see on the news, you can't do nothing about it. You can't change it. Yeah, you can prepare for, whatever's coming, and, that's about all you can do. But, I remember back when I was a kid, like I said, Grandpa was a preacher, but I remember he always told me, it's good to worry about the well-being of other folks, and when you can help somebody along, help them. But, you don't need to be prying in other folks' business and such as that. And you definitely didn't need to be fussing about other folks' problems. And I've said it a time or two on these corn crib confessions, and I'm a firm believer in it. I guarantee you, when you get off work this evening, instead of going home and turning that TV on, sitting back and watching that depressing news, let me tell you what you do. I promise you, if you'll go in there in your bathroom or, in front of your dresser, and if you'll stare at that mirror and you'll look at yourself there long and hard and put some thought into it, I'm going to promise you something. You'll see enough fault looking back at you to where you won't have time to meddle in anybody else's business. You won't have time to, sit down and watch TV and watch all the doom and gloom that's on the news. You realize just exactly what a mess your own life is in. Don't matter how good you think you got it, I guarantee it, if you sit there and you look at yourself long enough, you can find some problems to correct. And, if more and more folks start concentrating on themselves, the better of a person you are. It's kind of like that light on the hill. If you got problems, don't stick them things under a bushel basket and hide them where you ain't got to see them, you ain't got to deal with them. Start working on your own problems. Jerk them out from under that bushel basket where you can get your hands on them and correct them. And when you go taking care of yourself, you'll become a lot better person. And just like that light on the hill, when you take that bushel basket off, that light will shine for others to see. And, this day and age, that's what we need, each and every one of us. We need somebody to look up to. We need somebody to be able to look to that's doing good in life. Somebody that's turned their life around to give us encouragement. There's several folks that I look at that I know their history that have really done good for themselves. And that's what it took. You got to knuckle down, buckle down, and look at it yourself. But I promise you, if you turn that TV off, go look at yourself, find your own faults, and get to work on your own problems. Stuff like that, that's what we're going to have to do to turn a lot of this horse shit around in this country. Looking at your TV and then getting on social media and bitching and raising hell. Usually all you're doing is firing somebody else up. You lighting the fire under somebody else, next thing you know, they're moaning and carrying on, taking on. And, then social media gets depressing. I look back on my life a lot, and, there's a lot of times I wished I never had social media. But I done got on here now, and some of y'all won't let me get off of here. But I honestly believe if I didn't have social media, after my divorce, I would have progressed a lot further along in finding my own happiness. It's been a slow go. Sometimes it's best for a person to be alone when they've been through a lot of bullshit. And even after, my divorce area, if I hadn't had social media, I could have saved myself further heartache. But anyway, y'all think about it. Instead of knocking everybody else around you down there and pitching a fit and a bitching and a moaning about what everybody else is doing, concentrate on yourself. I guarantee it'll keep you busy for a pretty good while. And I'd say you'd probably be pretty much pleased with the end result. Work on yourself. I gotta get off this thing, go in there and cook me some supper. Y'all have your good Monday. I love you and I mean it. Yes, I do, baby. Yeah!